Hello everyone, this is MC Deck Discussions and I'm Obby Small, and today we're going to talk about a little gameplay decision making. So there are a number of ways a person can go in the situation I'm in, so let me go ahead and describe it. So first of all, I'm near the end of my turn. So I've already been in hero phase. Right now I'm playing Silk. Right, so I'm playing Silk against Unus, and I've already played in hero form and did most of my turn, and this is what I have left in my hand are these three cards. And so there are some different possibilities that I can make right now. So one is that I could actually play Superpower Training, maybe using Nick Fury to play it, and then I'll have Across the Spider-Verse in my hand, and that's an important card to have in my hand because there is another card that I do want to get into play soon. Okay? So, but what I'm really considering is actually just holding on to all three cards, and it has to do with what I have in my discard pile as well as how many cards are left in my deck. So let's look at what we have here. So first of all, I've actually done a lot. I built out my kit quite a bit. I have a couple of great allies out, including Spider-Man Peter Parker, Scarlet Spider, who can help keep Spider-Man Peter Parker in play, or even help Silk to stay alive, and even trigger Unflappable. So I have Unflappable in here, so if Silk defends and is going to take some damage, then I can always let Scarlet Spider take that damage and be able to use Unflappable. Plus, I do only have 3 hit points left. I also have the possibility of even defending with Spider-Man. I have Web of Life and Destiny in play, so if I end up defending with Spider-Man, he goes out of play, and my hope would be to then just bring him back into play with Across the Spider-Verse. But here's the thing, I have one other key card in this deck that I would like to get into play that I haven't seen yet, and that's Spider UK. So Spider UK is a key card in this deck, and it's actually more important than the Web of Life and Destiny in this case. And so what I'd have here are these 6 cards remaining. So let's look at the rest of the board state before I examine that, right? So it doesn't really matter who I'm playing. Right now I'm playing in Standard against Unus, and then after this game I'll play Unus in Expert for my play testing of this deck. Okay? But what's more important is the scheme, right? So this is the main scheme, and if this scheme is completed, the players lose the game, and I can get up to 11 threat on there before I lose the game in a solo play. All right, but I'm in no real danger there whatsoever because Unus only schemes for 1. There's only 1 threat on here, and I also know that in my discard pile there are only 4 cards altogether. Well, not in the discard pile, but there are only 4 cards altogether in the encounter deck that can make Unus scheme a second time. So that would be the thing that would put me in danger of losing the game immediately. So there are 2 copies of Infinite Prelate in the deck, and there are 2 copies of Advance, which would be in any of the encounter decks, at least if you're playing on regular, Standard, or Expert, right? So as you can see in my discard pile, I already have 1 Advance here, and I actually have 2 Infinite Prelates, right? Those allow Unus to activate, right? So that's 3 of the 4 cards. The only thing left in the whole rest of this pile of cards is 1 Advance. But on top of that, I have a Ready for a Fight out here in play, not to be used just any old time, but for emergencies. So in my case, I'm not using Ready for a Fight every single time I can use it. I have 3 copies in the deck, so I do have more that could come out, but I actually think the other 2 are in the discard pile right now. And it's just there in case of emergencies, because I actually do want to be in alter ego form fairly frequently in this deck, because Cindy Moon's alter ego ability allows her to draw 2 cards if she discards one of her tucked cards. So I like her being on this side if I can help it. So now let's get back to the decision here of, hey, do we get Superpower Training out? Because there is 1 more card that I really would like, 1 more upgrade, so Superpower Training can get that other upgrade into play. So I would like to play that. But also, I'd love to get set up more fully, like I said, with Spider UK, who I know has to be one of these 6 cards that remains in my deck. And I would love to continue to have Spider-Man in play. And so Across the Spider-Verse can make all of that happen. Well, Nick Fury draws 3 cards when I play him. So if I decide to just hold on to these cards, so like I said, this is often a decision that a person probably wouldn't make, is to just keep all these cards at this time. But I very often will keep cards in situation others might not, but especially in this situation. So here's what will occur, right? So if I hold on to all 3 of these cards, then I know I will get 3 more cards in hand. One of them might be Spider UK, but I'll have 6 cards altogether with 3 remaining in my deck. Okay? So when my turn occurs, like worst case scenario, I might actually use Ready for a Fight and end up, having to defend on the other side, or maybe using Spider-Man. Okay? But one of the problems is that Across the Spider-Verse, well, it plays cards, right? So if you use Across the Spider-Verse, right, exhaust a Web Warrior card you control, search your discard pile for a Web Warrior ally and put it into play, right? And there's, could possibly repeat that again, but I want to be able to use this card to maybe get Spider-Man Peter Parker back into play, right? I could use Spider-Man Peter Parker next turn, and he has 2 damage already, and if he gets a 3rd damage, then I could prevent that damage, but I could just let him go into my discard pile, get him back with Across the Spider-Verse. Another possibility is that, And so what happens on my turn here is, no matter what, for sure, I'm actually going to deck out. Because if I play Nick Fury, it'll draw 3 cards. Okay? And so if I'm already drawing 3 cards now, and only 3 cards remain, then when I play Nick Fury, then I won't have any cards in my discard pile in order to use Across the Spider-Verse. But no matter what, I know I'm going to survive the next round without having to sacrifice Spider-Man here. So what I could do is play Nick Fury, get the rest of these cards in deck out, and on my next turn, when I can attack or thwart with Spider-Man Peter Parker, and then I will have, because if I have 6 cards in my hand, for sure I can play Nick Fury without using Across the Spider-Verse, and I'll be able to hold Across the Spider-Verse in my hand and be able to use it to get Spider-Man back into play, or possibly Spider UK. So one of the benefits of when you play Across the Spider-Verse is, if I have Spider UK in my hand when I play Across the Spider-Verse, well, I can use Spider UK as one of my resources to pay the 2 cost. Then, because I used it to pay for it, Spider UK is in my discard pile, and then I could actually use Across the Spider-Verse to bring Spider UK back into play. But no matter what, I will have the ability to end up with both Spider-Man Peter Parker and Spider UK in play on my next turn, because I'll be able to draw cards, and I can, adjust accordingly to play Across the Spider-Verse. So in this case, I'm going to actually just keep all 3 cards and be able to make sure to get the cards I want back into play afterwards. I am hoping to also keep Superpower Training. That may or may not work out, because there is one more card I would also like to get into play. I'll just mention that real quickly, and that is Spider Reflexes. So if I have Superpower Training out, I will be able to get Spider Reflexes in my hand, and that'll really set up my whole kit. And even without that, though, once I get Spider UK out, I should be able to start really going for attacking the villain to defeat them. Right now, I haven't done any damage at all to Unus, but once I get Spider UK out, I'll be able to do pretty much whatever I want. And as soon as I get my, my big attack cards in my hand, the swinging silk kicks, I'll be able to do a bunch of damage. But I should be able to do damage all along the way. All right. So there's just a little talk about some decision making. It could work out very well too to just play Superpower Training right now with Nick Fury and have the rest of those cards. But I want to get an optimum setup, so I'm going to just keep all 3 cards on this play and get ready for my next one. All right, that's it for today.